Now this story time in general, everyone. Y'all had to excuse my cousin in the background because he's editing some videos up himself. So this story time in particular took place when I was in DC. I was in the 11th grade at the time. It was the 4th of July. I remember everything so vividly because it was something that was out of the ordinary. So what had happened was me and my dad, we was at my grandma's house, and me and him were freshening up. We was getting ready to go out and pop some fireworks. He bought some half a stick of dynamite and stuff, and I had bought some fireworks myself. He bought them for me. I didn't have no job at the time. So I'm just sitting there minding my business. He said, son, you go ahead and you take you a shower first. I'm like, all right, cool, man, cool. So I tell my homie that was on the PlayStation at the time that was playing the game with heavily. His name was Transit. He said, hey man, he said, I'll still be here when you get out the shower. I said, all right, man, cool. So I get in the shower, right? I get my clothes and stuff. I'm getting myself prepared to go see family and stuff because the gathering was super big. When I mean big, it's bigger than my family down here in Texas. Like I said in the previous episode, that family up there is gigantic. So I'm getting myself together. I get my spoof that was on the shower head. I get it. I put some stuff in it, and I'm just sitting there just minding my business, washing up and all that. Washing. You know how everyone does whenever they get in the shower. And I get out, and my dad, he tells me to hurry up. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get out the shower, right? And I dry off, and I sit back in front of the game. I'm sitting there playing Minecraft. When I started playing Minecraft, my friend, he was like, what time are you leaving? I said, man, I'm not too sure what time I'm leaving to go pop some fireworks and stuff. And remember this, everyone. My dad, I did not know my dad. We had two of the same spoofs. Like, it's something that you wash up with. It was, both of ours were black, but he didn't tell me that he washed mine at all. So I didn't know that was his spoof, that was his in general. And what had happened was, he said, son, give me like 10 to 20 minutes. And I'm going to be out of the shower and I'm gonna freshen up and I'm gonna get out of here. And we're gonna go pop some fireworks. I said, all right, cool, Pops. So me and Transit, we just sitting there minding our business on the game. And all of a sudden, I hear my dad start grumbling and mumbling while he in the bathroom. Now, mind you, the bathroom is real close to to where the TV and stuff was. We were downstairs in the basement, but the basement was like a full-on area. And I heard him mumbling and grumbling like, what in the world? What is this? And all of a sudden I'm listening. I'm like, I said, what's wrong with my pops? And all of a sudden he like, he started screaming. I'm like, is he all right? He said, Carlos, this is disgusting. I'm like, what the heck? And then stop, see, I'm trying to tell a story here. He said, Carlos, this is disgusting. I'm like, dude, I said, what's wrong? And then Transit said, I hear him yelling in the bathroom. He said, all right. I said, Pops, you all right, man? He said, you used my spoof in the bathroom. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, that's my spoof. He said, no, you stupid, eh? He said, mine was on top of the shower head. I'm like, nope. I said, no, mine was at the top. He said, what the F did I just say, man? I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, and then he said, go look in the dryer. I went in there and looked, and all of a sudden there was another spoof. I'm like, oh my God. I was sitting there, I started playing the game. He was mad, man. He was you don't know how mad he was. It was just me and him at the house at the time, and he yelled out, Carlos, me and you gonna have beef when I get out of here. I'm like, oh my God. I was sitting there, I told my homeboy Transit while I was sitting there playing the game. I'm like, hey man, look, I said he is not making this any better. I said he yelling and stuff at me through the bathroom door. I said I don't know what to think about this. It was just so funny to me. And while I'm sitting there getting yelled at through the bathroom door, he said, all right, he said, here I come too. I told my homeboy Transit, I said, hey man, look, I said, I'm gonna have to get off. I'm trying to turn off the game. He busted out the bathroom door. He was still soaking wet with water on him. He had a towel wrapped around him. Him coming out the bathroom with the towel around him didn't make it any better. I was sitting there laughing in his face. I was trying not to, but the whole situation to me was just so It was just so funny to me. He looked at me. He said, "Why the F are you using my stuff?" I'm like, "Dude," I said, "Look," I said, "it was by accident." He said, "No, it wasn't." He said, "You need to pay attention to what the He said, "You need to pay attention to what the F you using in the bathroom." He said, "It was hairs all in my stuff." I'm like, "Dude, I just couldn't help it." I just started laughing. I just couldn't help it. I was just laughing in his face. He was looking at me. He said, "Oh, you think this funny?" I was looking, I'm laughing. I'm trying to keep myself together, but I couldn't the whole time. I'm sitting there just laughing in his face. He's just getting madder and madder and looking at me. And then he said, okay, wait till I get some clothes on. He said, wait till I get some clothes on. This summer gun walks with a towel around her over to his basement side of the room, right? I sit down in a chair for a little bit. I'm sitting there, I said, okay, I need to get myself together. I was just sitting there in the chair trying to compose myself. I was trying to compose myself for the whole situation. Because I knew he was going to come back out there and get right back in my face. I was sitting there. It felt like 30 minutes I was sitting there, but I don't know how long it was. But I was just sitting there like, oh, come on, get a straight face on. You got to think of something sad. I was thinking of sad stuff. I didn't know what I was thinking about. I was thinking about something sad. I'm like, all right, I just need to get my straight face on, my poker face on. It felt like forever. I was just sitting there quietly, just looking off in the distance. And all of a sudden I heard the door open. And all of a sudden he slammed the door. And I stood up. He walked over there towards me. He said, all right. He said, laugh now. Laugh. Excuse me. Stop. See, I'm trying to tell. He looked at me. He walked over. He had some jeans on and some socks and a tank top. He walked over there towards me. He said, laugh now. Laugh now. Laugh now. I want you to laugh. I was sitting there trying my best. I didn't laugh at him neither. I didn't. It took everything in me not to laugh at him. He said, you think that's funny? I'm like, dude. I said, no, man, it's not funny at all. I said, he said, why you ain't laughing now? I got clothes on. Laugh now. I'm like, I doubt my dad was going to hit me or anything, but I really doubt that. He's a loving father. He loves me to death. But, he would say, I'll laugh. He said, oh, it ain't funny now, huh? Is it funny? I'm like, oh my God. I was sitting. It took everything in me. I thought I was going to laugh a couple of times. He said, you thought that S was funny, didn't you? I'm like, nah, man. I said, nah, man. I was sitting there it was so hard to try not to laugh in his face. And he wanted to stand there and lecture me about paying attention and stuff for a whole 30 minutes. And then this is what he told me. He said, when we get out there, don't you pop a single effing firework. I'm like, man, shoot. And I'm sitting there and we get our clothes on and stuff. And I go meet up with my sister out there. She was out there too. We was popping all the fireworks and all that. And I walked up to my sister. I was mad. She said, what's wrong with you? I said, man, I just started laughing about it. And my sister told me, I told my sister saying, man, I accidentally used Daddy's spoof. And he got fighting mad at me. And then she said, no, he didn't. I said, I promise to God he did. And then I said, he told me not to use any fireworks. She thought I was lying. She said, come on, let's go by. I said, he told me not to pop any fireworks, sis. And then here she goes. She gave me some fireworks. And then my dad, he said, hey, what did I tell you? I looked over. I'm like, my sister, she said, Dad, just lean up off him. It's 4th of July. He said, you should have been thinking something before you started doing stuff. I'm like, man, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I said, this dude, man, I said, he gonna strip my whole 4th of July away from me. And my sister, she was like, just ignore, we just gonna go pop some fireworks and stuff. And then later on that night, my dad told me, he was like, here, he gave me some fireworks. He said, here, you can go pop them and stuff. He said, but you better think next time before you use my stuff, man. And then I looked, I said, yes, sir. I was popping them for the rest of the night. And then 2 days later, my spoof I kept my spoof down on the outside the shower ledge, right? And then when I went upstairs after I got done taking the shower, my sister was cooking spaghetti again. Like I said in the first episode, she cooked the mess out of the spaghetti. She cooked it to crap. It was so delicious. And all of a sudden, me and my sister hear something from downstairs. Oh, all of a sudden we hear somebody walking up the steps. I thought it was granddad, but it was my dad walking up the steps. And all of a sudden, my dad, he walked all the way up. He was looking at me. And my sister looked over there. My dad said with the straightest face ever, "Use my spoof again, didn't you?" I'm like, "No." I said, "Mine is on the outside." "No, it isn't. Mine is on the outside." I'm like, "Dude," I said, "Here we go with this stuff again." And then he said, "Look," he said, "I don't feel like getting on to you tonight." He said, "I already told you what you need to start doing. You need to start thinking, son." And then my sister walked back downstairs. I just kind of started snickering about the situation. My sister looked at me. She said, "You got issues." I said, "No." I said, "I don't have issues." I said, "Both of us have issues for laughing about it." Moral to the story is, everyone, please make sure y'all use your own shower stuff and whatever. Please don't use anyone's shower spoofs or nothing, or y'all gonna end up like me. And what was funny about it too, when he came out the shower the first time, my homeboy Transit, he heard him yelling. He was like, "Oh God," he said, "I can hear him coming out the bathroom and stuff, man." I tried to get off, but Transit heard everything. I turned off the PlayStation. When I got back on, Transit, he was like, "Hey man, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was laughing about the situation and stuff, but Transit, he was actually concerned. I said, "Look, man," I said, "I'm good." I said, I'm 100% okay." I said, "Nothing bad happened. He just told me I couldn't pop any fireworks, but I still popped them anyway." So that'll be the end of this story time, everyone. I hope y'all like it, and I will see y'all in the next story time. Peace out.